Hi everyone, it's Sam the Anime Man and welcome back to the channel. Today we're tackling something I've seen floating around a lot lately, and that's the growing hate towards Jujutsu Kaisen. I'm gonna be real with you guys. Some of the criticism feels a bit forced. People are turning against the series for reasons that, in my opinion, don't even really hold that much weight or completely ignore what Jujutsu Kaisen has actually been doing in the story. So let's take a moment, slow down, and break down why this hate is actually happening and why a lot of it just honestly just misses the whole point. And also, please to remember to like and subscribe. Okay, let's start with what actually makes Jujutsu Kaisen good. Jujutsu Kaisen isn't your typical shonen, and it's not just something fans say to hype it up. The series constantly explores heavier themes like grief, death, human malice, and from episode 1, we see that Yuji is thrown into a world that questions the value of life and the cost of power. And there are so many good characters in the show, from the main character, Yuji, Megami, you got Nobara, you got Nanami, you got Toji, Geto, Yuta, Todo, Mahito, Sukuna, Yuki, and let's not forget about the GOAT himself, Gojo. And you're just doing yourself a disservice if you're saying that these characters don't have good plot lines, don't have good storylines, and don't have good moments, as each character brings something unique and new to the story. Maybe their philosophies, their ideals. JJK thrives because its characters and how they actually are written, and how some of them are broken, some of them feel so real and flawed in their own ways. Like, let's not even get started about Gojo's complex of him being the strongest, and because he's the strongest, he feels so lonely at the top. And Geto's story about how he's always the second strongest, so he feels he can't do anything in the world. And that ideology and that difference between them actually ends their relationship. And there's so many more moments like this in JJK, but people just sum it down to one silly little thing. I did some research, as it does feel like it's a little bit exaggerated or misdirected where this hate is coming from. The first reason that I really gathered was that people were hating on Mappa more than JJK, as many fans are really upset of how Mappa were overworking the animators during season 2. Many animators did come out and publicly expressed their burnout and crunch, and this actually got a lot of backlash, and this also transferred to the anime. But I don't think it's fair to say the animators are the reason that JJK is getting hate. The story gets a little bit complex at times with the power systems and how they actually work, especially during the arcs like Shibuya and the Culling games. The plot just starts going all over the place, and so some readers or some anime watchers can find it really overwhelming or hard to follow. It also felt like Gege didn't really know what he was doing with certain characters, and it felt like he was writing the story or had ideas but wasn't able to really finish them in time. An example of this is Nobara, and I only really realized this after rereading the final arc after Gojo died, because I didn't really like the way that Gege handled most of the characters here. Like, I feel like he had some idea of what Nobara wanted to do, and obviously those predictions due to her ability, but I feel like the way that he wrote it in made it seem just like plot convenience at the end of the day. And like, I think that's what really affected JJK. The quality dropped off near the end, and even with the art, there's some times where like the art just didn't really look as good when it came out on a bi-weekly chapter basis, I think it was. And I feel like at that moment of time, especially because like the way the art was getting produced and the confusing plot lines and the way that Gege handled some characters, I think that all combined together for JJK getting a little bit of unnecessary hate. And I think that's the main thing. Sometimes they're just jumping on the bandwagon without really understanding or reading the source material. Like, if someone comes to me and says JJK is just about fights and no substance, you just can tell that they haven't really read or watched the series, as it has both, because the fights are amazing, and the reason why the fights are so good is because there's always a reason behind those fights. The reason why Gojo and Sukuna is going to want to be one of the most hyped fights of the century, probably one of the best if not the best anime fight of all time when it gets animated. Look, every anime is going to have people who love it and people who don't like it, but the hate towards Jujutsu Kaisen right now feels performative, like people are just mad for the sake of being mad. This series is beautifully written if you like it or not. It's emotionally heavy and it's unafraid to take risks with sacrificing characters and having amazing character moments and having amazing fights also. That's not something that's just to hate, that's actually something you need to respect. If you disagree, that's fine. It has its mistakes, it has its drawbacks, but Jujutsu Kaisen is one of the best new gens and it will carry on to have that title forever. Jujutsu Kaisen will always be a good anime manga. Thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe, and if you're enjoying this kind of deep dives, comment below what are your thoughts on Jujutsu Kaisen, and always remember, Jesus loves you, and I'll see you guys in the next one.